And we are live. Hello, everyone. This is Howard Dare. Thanks for stopping by. So, here I am at the Howard Dare Studios, and it's nighttime. I've sent everyone home and figured I would just, take it easy and relax. And all of a sudden, I found myself just setting this up, setting up a podcast. And I'm thinking, well, like, what do I call it, right? Because Tuesday night podcast. And there it is. So it's just like habit now, right? So I'm just going through it. But these podcasts, these live streams, they offer me a great opportunity to talk about, some of the subjects in my videos in a slightly different way, because not all of the subjects lend themselves to just, a 10-minute video format. They require more, information. So I want to talk about that. I also want to talk about some of the problems and failings with the previous podcasts and videos, because I think I know what's going on. Also want to talk about the news of the day, because, a lot of stuff is happening, and I just kind of want to look at it from a MGTOW point of view. And I'm sure I've got some other stuff going on. So thanks for stopping by, everybody. And let me just make sure that I've got everything working here properly. Like I said, I let the staff go home because I'm a nice guy like that. I don't overwork people. Don't overwork yourselves. Yeah, so my previous podcast, I think it was too ponderous, and I took a little bit too much time thinking things over. And yeah, I've done that in videos before too, and it doesn't work. It's kind of cool, but no, it doesn't really work. So, okay, yeah, here I am on the chat page. Let's say something. How's it going? How's it going, guys? All right, so there's our delay, right? So if I had a crazy person on the podcast, this would be the delay I would have, to like stop them from saying, Allah Akbar. Fucking terrorists, man. Fucking terrorists. It's like we live in a culture where if they do this shit and they scream loud enough, people are like, intimidated by it and offset by it. And naturally so. Naturally so. I'm pissed off at the anti-FA groups, though, too, walking around like, mini fucking social justice warrior terrorists. Yeah. Did you see the protests of New England Patriots, right? Not my champions, fascist football. So these special snowflakes, these social justice warriors, these butthurt libtards, they'll protest anything, right? They have a problem with the way he throws the football. They don't care. And this is what I've tried to communicate to you guys in a lot of my videos. It's like, oh man, this feminist bitch boss is running me through the ringer. What am I going to fucking do? It's like, well, here's the bad news. There's good news and there's bad news, okay? The good news is she's an idiot. She doesn't know what she's doing. The bad news is she's an idiot. She doesn't know what she's doing. They don't care. It's not an issue. There's nothing you can fix. You can't hold open enough doors. You can't be polite enough. You can't show her enough respect. There isn't, any sort of equal pay legislation that you can pass that would stop them from doing this. This is what they do. This is how they make their way in the world. Not by dealing with reality, not by dealing with, logic and reason and then making adjustments and overcoming obstacles in the real world. No, by crying, by moaning, by manipulating. That's how they get by. And you can understand, this is the child needs some food. What's it going to do? Is it going to go out and get a job? No, it's going to cry. Child needs something done, like its diaper change. What's it going to do? Is it going to go out and hire a prostitute? No, I don't think so. It's going to cry, so patterns that we develop. Oh yeah, that reminds me, something else I wanted to talk about, my evolving ideas of videos. Intelligent learning machines. That's what you are. That's what we are. We're intelligent learning machines. That's kind of redundant, right? Learning machines kind of implies intelligence, but it's the way I want to say it for now. And everything that we experience is recorded in our brain, and then when, we're making future decisions, and we can put all the metaphysical bullshit aside for now, because I'm just concerned with like functional stuff. This is something that I think is really important from an engineering point of view and from a practical point of view. Okay. Put all of the ideas and the philosophy, just put it all aside. Just come at it from a strictly functional point of view. It just makes things so much easier. It's like, how many angels can fit on the head of a pin? It's like, I don't care. I just care if the pin is sharp enough to pierce the cloth, because that's all I'm designing it for. So form follows function. Let function determine form. And don't worry about anything else. So, intelligent learning machines, right? Everything we experience gets recorded. And then, as I said, put aside all the other bullshit. This is just a simplistic explanation. And then when we encounter a new situation, we weigh the past knowledge, and then we make a new decision. We make a decision. So if every time you walk up to a blonde-haired girl and say, hey, you want to go hang out, and she says, get fucked, pardon my language, eventually, and every time you go up to a brown-haired girl and you say, hey, you want to go hang out? She says, sure, it's, sounds good. Even if you're not very smart, you know what I mean? Even if you're not even thinking about it, as a human being, you're going to be like, I don't feel comfortable approaching the blonde-haired girls, and I do feel comfortable approaching the brown-haired girls. And even if you were, like a dog or a cat, and you were like, hunting, and, whenever you go to this field, good luck. Whenever you go to that field, bad luck. There you go. Eventually you'd learn, and you'd feel sorry for all the, other animals that went to the bad field. You'd be like, what a bunch of fucking stupid dogs, man. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. That's what you'd be like. You'd be walking around like that, and you'd be thinking that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So I get a lot of great messages, a lot of great comments. I'm not responding, to them. Not because I don't care about them, not because I don't read them, but because I'm just not efficient enough to not get like trapped in, doing them and stuff like that. Like if, it's like answering the phone, right? So if I get 20 calls a day and 2 or 3 of them are important, what am I going to do? Am I going to stop my work 20, 30 times in a day just to pick up that phone? I'll never be able to concentrate and get something, meaningful accomplished and done. So no, I just ignore that phone. At the end of the day, I'll look at who's called, and if it was somebody important, I'll call them back. I'll look at the phone too when it rings, and if it's someone important, I'll pick it up if it's someone I care about. But if I don't know who it is, I don't bother to check. So, with my other videos, talking about some fairly complex subjects, MGTOW 102. This is not MGTOW 101. Yeah, I'll warn you guys, right? Yeah. So the thing is that whatever traumatic experiences we have, we remember them, we record them, and then they affect our behaviors. And here's the problem. If they're traumatic enough, and I talked about this in the last couple of videos, we tend to want to forget them. We tend to want to hide them from ourselves. Like if it was like if you got beat up, you know what I mean? You haven't faced it and overcome it. You want to hide that situation. But of course, the knowledge is still there. So this is, difficult stuff. So we're these intelligent learning machines, but we suffer from trauma and we internalize it. And sometimes we forget, like there's almost like this tendency that we want to forget it. So it's like perfectly well what's going on, but you're acting like a nice guy. Or maybe you are Superman and you're acting like Clark Kent all the time because that if you go into that other mode of being as a man, that you're going to be given a lot of trouble. And isn't that the truth, man? I was at the park once, and you know what was playing at the park? About 10 different teams of girls softball. That's right. Girls softball, not boys softball. I drove past the park a lot, and there's no more boys Little League. Okay? There were no groups of boys dressed up in baseball uniforms, but there were groups of girls dressed up. I guess they were playing softball. Man, and did they stink at it. Like there was like at no time. There was just like this brief period of time like when they're about 12 years old, where they're just starting to get good at it. You know what I mean? Now there's some of them, that are getting good at it, but no, for the majority, right? It's just bad news. Um, yeah, no boys little league anymore, right? Because that's sexist. So I'm hanging out there, not really hanging out. I'm just like driving through there. Um, right? They don't. If you're not a blue pill man, they can smell you from a mile away. It's like, what's a single man that's healthy doing moving around in our area? Right? It's the same as it's like a lion coming into your territory, right? It's like a bunch of fat, lazy lions being in one area, and then a lion comes into the territory. And I was like, that's not a fat, lazy lion. What the hell's going on? So, they're all over me. But there was a little boy, and he 6, 7 years old, right? One of the only little boys there, right? So all the girls are out there playing softball, and everybody's running around them and applauding them, and they stink at the game, and they're just getting worse at it every year. um, Actually, until doesn't matter. But the little boy's kicking his little soccer ball around, and he's like little mini Pele. He really is. He's just bouncing that ball. He's doing it like he's not even thinking about it, like it's his second nature. It's really a sight to behold. It's awesome. Little kid's just kicking the ball, and he's just bouncing it up and putting it over his head, and just whatever he wants to do with it, comfortable as can be. Meanwhile, he's just looking around, and this big, fat, moo Landwell is screaming at him, Johnny, stop kicking that ball. You're going to get in trouble, Johnny. Who do you think you are? I told you, Johnny. Right. And the boy's doing his best to ignore her, and he's just kind of kicking the ball, but he can't ignore her. Right. So, then he has to stop kicking the ball. And now all of his motion is kind of like inhibited. And he's like moving around like afraid that some big misandric Landwell is going to start screaming at him and yelling at him. So that's what our boys are facing, even on the playgrounds at school. I suspect if the boys start running around and playing like boys are capable of running around and playing, I suspect that the female women watching, on the playgrounds are like, cut that out. You don't play like that. Nobody gets to run faster than the slowest girl here. It's like, who do you think you are? So they all become soft and fat and emotional. They don't even get to develop physically, because all the fat women around them are all like hateful and manipulative and like, we don't like you acting that way, Johnny. Sorry, I get lost in this sort of stuff. So imagine little Johnny, right? There he is. He's just trying to have a good time. But every time he starts to physically express himself, not violence, not anything dangerous, not anything out of place, as soon as he starts to express his physical dominance, you know what I mean? That he is like a future Pele. Pele was a great soccer player, guys. And every time he does that, all the women around him are like, who do you think you are? Check your privilege. You're not allowed to act that way. Until all the men are walking around like these little gray boys with their heads down, without any strength, without any confidence, unsure of every act they take. And if they act in any sort of an assertive manner, like if they express what's really on their mind, like if they look at one of their school teachers and say, look, lady, you're unhealthy, you're emotional, you don't make any sense, nothing, please, just give us some basic assignments and shut up. Right? It's like, oh, guess what? You're on medication. There it goes, man. You don't have any dreams anymore. That's it. Your mind is chemically sterilized. So you can't even speak the truth. You can't even talk to them. Can't even express yourself to the fat misandric women that'll just destroy the boy's future. So I'm hanging out at the grocery store, going through the self-checkout, and there's a woman and her daughter on the other side, and they're doing a checkout. And this is self-checkout, right? And the little girl's helping, and the mother says, she says, oh, are you helping? And the young girl, about 8 years old or so, she says, yes, I'm helping. And then the mother says, did you, make sure to not put the meat in with the fruit or with the milk? The little girl says, I don't know. I don't think so. And the mother says, well, you have to do that. And the little girl says, why? And the mother says, because it's icky, and that's the way we do it. She wasn't hostile or angry or anything, but that's what she said, right? Little 8-year-old girl pauses and says, well, thanks for telling me, because I never would have figured that one out. Yeah. Yeah, I just thought it was funny, because there was no way the little girl would have been able to figure that one out. There was no reason. You know what I mean? There's the cultural reasons and things like that. And there might even be some sort of bacterial reason as well. Excuse me. But the kid was funny. The kid just said, well, there was no way I would have figured that one out. That cracked me up a little bit. Hmm. So I'm just having some coffee. And, I've heard that there are such things as coffee warmers, right? It was mentioned in my comment section. It's unbelievable. I freaked out. I suppose it's just like a little hot plate that you have sitting nearby, right? I wonder if I could hook it up to the USB port. That'd be pretty cool. A USB coffee warmer. I'll bet they have them. Why not? No, I don't know. I don't know if the USB could provide enough power. Yeah. Hmm. So the smarter you are, the easier you learn. It's kind of like the more sensitive you are, and the more you're affected by the environment. So it's kind of like it's got this good side and this bad side to it. I was just watching an awesome Vention MGTOW video where he talks about the relative IQs of the various countries around the world, and how the higher the IQ is, the more feminist they are, and the more regulations they have. The lower the IQ, the higher the birth rate, but the more crime and the more dangerous it is in those areas. And yeah, really interesting. These correlations. And if you lay the birth rates over, those exact same statistics, you're going to see this huge correlation, right? That the higher the IQ, the higher the feminism exists in that culture, and the more regulations that exist there, the lower the birth rate, naturally. And likewise the opposite. The lower the IQ, the more violent the area is, the more the women are, staying closer to the men, and they need the men. Right. And we here in America, well, go check out the Vention, video, because he always gives out some good information, talks about Bitcoin and things like that. Um, I definitely need to start working with Bitcoin simply to understand it, you know. And to be honest with you, I think that might have been the reason why I decided to do this podcast, because there was just some things I wanted to try out. Um, I wanted to, yeah, technology. You guys must embrace the new technology. Yeah. So check this out, right? Some of you have been listening to what I've been talking about, right? Okay, check this out. We don't want to learn new things. We don't want to find out new stuff. We hide new stuff from ourselves. Just like we don't want our worldview challenged. Okay. We don't even want to go onto Facebook. Okay. Because it's like it implies that our super ego doesn't know what's going on here. It's fascinating. And here's something else that's pretty interesting. Just a statistic that someone mentioned. I don't remember who mentioned it or where I heard it. But women, females, girls, especially younger girls, send out like 100 chats a day, 100 texts a day. But the boys, pretty much same age, they only send out about 20, you know? And that would be fine, except for the fact that there's all this financial opportunity. Okay. And that the more locked in, the more dangerous, the more painful the situation comes for that intelligent learning device, the more trauma that it has to deal with, the more closed off the super ego becomes to this new information. Do you see what I'm getting at? Right? This is not going to be a good podcast. These are not going to be good videos. But I think it's a really important subject here. So that it's kind of like when a new technology comes out, the person who has staked the most on the old technology is the least likely to want to change. I suppose we could even bring it into the law of competitive exclusion almost, or no, not quite that, but rather any species, the better adapted a species is to the current situation, the less likely it is going to be to change in that environment, right? So what if we apply this to like a mental, emotional, psychological, relational uh, model? Okay. So the women are sending out 100 texts a day. They're embracing the new technology. They're monetizing it. They're gaining that advantage. Now, the man is coming along. He's been abused and belittled his whole life. He's a better learning machine. He really is. He's a stronger, faster, better learning machine. He's also more sensitive in this regard. Okay? So he's got all these fucking neuroses built into him already. And he's been punished for expressing masculinity, which is better than feminine. It's more assertive. You know what I mean? It's just more useful. So it's discouraged. He's attacked for it. You're attacked for just being a strong man, for displaying those qualities. You're isolated. You're thrown out of the group. Unless you worship women, the other men will accuse you of being gay. Stuff like that. Unless you take the same jobs, everything like that. So, we need to be able to process trauma. We need to be able to process betrayal. We need to be able to process the idea that they don't love us. And I'm talking to MGTOW. No reason to be angry or hurt by it, or upset by it. But it does put a bit of a, change to the situation. So now what's your, attitude towards embracing technology? And what's your attitude, consider that, the girls are sending out 100 texts a day and they are filled with gynocentric values. And the boys that say, I'm not part of so many groups and I don't have so many friends or subscribers, right? Like I'm not so popular. They get discouraged. But we need men. I mean, men built all this stuff. The reason why you guys are having trouble is because you're the better machine. Okay? You're the better machine. Now, the woman has these biological functions. And here's the thing. So, you guys know we're not the same, right? If you eat the same diet as a woman, you'll become fat and soft and gray and weak and emotional and feminine. No, you have to eat differently. And if you doubt what I'm saying, look at the majority of, the men around you, and use that as your guide. Use the results that you see in the world around you as your guide, to what works and what doesn't work, like an intelligent learning machine. And process the trauma. When the bitches are mean to you and they screw you over, recognize what it is. Say to yourself, okay, it happened. I'm going to take steps so that it doesn't happen again, but I'm not going to let it determine all my future behavior. So actually, a lot of this is some of the stuff that I'm dealing with and trying to process, right? So yeah, I do that with my videos as well. So I wanted to check out the possibility. Here we are back on the page where I'm looking at you guys in the comments section. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. Traversable, hi, man. Thanks for stopping by, Trav. So, hey, Rusty. Thanks for stopping by. So, I wanted to look at the control room option. I have this control room that talks to me about the podcast, and I can do a preview of the podcast, and I'm going to run that right now over here on my side. I'd share it with you guys, but there's no, it's not there yet. Okay. I can do a preview of the podcast, and I'm going to run that right now over my side. Do you hear that, you guys? That was, of course, the echo of what I was just saying. So that's the preview. I just cut the volume. Now, I also have, and I know you guys aren't super interested in the technical aspect back behind this, but it's pretty cool because it suggests that I'm able to do a broadcast alert, like we are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by. Let me see if I can flash that up. That would be cool. but we're not, you know. There are no technical difficulties. YouTube says, are you sure you want to set the broadcast alert? Yes. Okay, I've turned it on. And I'm looking at the preview, but it doesn't seem to be coming up. Now I'm coming back to the podcast chat place with you guys. Hey, guys. And I'm not seeing any sort of, you know, we are experiencing technical difficulty stuff. Damn. That would have been really cool. Would have allowed me to like put in commercials or something. Okay, public view. I've got another thing down here. Let's see. Oh, I have to turn off the sound. Turn on the sound. Hello, hello. Right. I've got another thing down here. Oh, I have to turn off the sound. Oh, I have to turn off the sound. Hello, hello. Right, hello. Right. Huh. Okay. So I've got echoes going through about 3 different renderings of the podcast right now. This is like a control studio, right? There's like all these monitors up on the screen, you know, like in a television control studio. Wow, what a dive TV is taking, huh? Those Super Bowl commercials sucked. Those were the worst commercials I have ever seen as Super Bowl commercials. How dare they? How dare they put such low quality commercials up there? You know, it was like the people who were running the Hillary Clinton campaign were designing all the commercials. Like, you idiots. None of those commercials worked. None of them. The only one that kind of worked was the Yellowtail wine commercial. That was it. That was it. And the reason why it worked, okay, I'm going to let you guys in on a secret, was the Australian accent. That's right. The minute we hear an Australian accent, we're like, oh, that's pretty cool. No, it was just funny. You know, it was cute. It had some pretty girls in it. It wasn't any sort of serious kind of bullshit. And it was like, oh, okay, Yellowtail wine. Fine, thanks. You know, job done. Every one of those other commercials, it was like, wow, we spent $5 million on it. And it stunk. You know, it was terrible. Although I do find Melissa McCarthy funny. You know what I mean? The big fat woman running around. That's pretty funny. You know, she is funny sometimes. There's no doubt about that. But I don't watch that a lot. You know, but yeah, I should start studying comedy. Oh, let me. Yeah. Okay, we are experiencing technical difficulties. It didn't work. Okay, we are experiencing technical difficulties in displaying. We are experiencing technical difficulties. Turn it off. Oh well. Ad inserts. I can insert ads, but I can't. I don't have that level of control. This is the basic podcast that I'm doing where you just go live now. You come over to your channel. You guys could do this. Like, you've got a YouTube account where you can leave comments. You can do this. You know, come over to your channel with its options, and you come over to live streaming. You come over to events, and you go to create, you know, new live event now. Create live event, and then you just put in the time, and that's it. But there's the more complicated way of doing this, and that would enable, you know, a bunch of other options. But I would have to do that while the Howard Dare Studio staff is still here. Yeah. So give me a moment here. Yeah, I was, you know, something else. My stream health. Okay. The stream current bit rate is only like 245 upper K, lower BPS, you know, KPBS. Really slow, because I suspect that's my upload speed, right? But kind of needs to be 10 times higher. Like, if I wanted to be sending up any sort of information from my computer to you guys, that would be way too slow. Yeah. So there's a lot to learn. And I want you guys, you know, as MGTOW, to be on top of this stuff. I want you guys to have like a internet lifestyle where, you just upload videos or you just maintain various social media accounts, that move people towards your products, things like that, whether they be informational products like books, physical products, shirts, or whatever you might be into, ball bearings, I don't know. And you use the power of the internet and social media to drive traffic and millions of people, and then you become prosperous. This is what I want for men. And if I would also say that I'm not saying that a MGTOW man can be the most successful of men. A man that is free, a man that is not bound to women, that is not bound to his own biology. Now, if such a man wants to get together with a female in a healthy manner with his MGTOW knowledge, what the hell? That's fine. I mean, I don't have what's the problem with that? This is like the difference between, the alcoholic and the person who just has a drink. It could be this way. This could be the difference between somebody who overeats and destroys their health with it versus somebody who is reasonable and rational with their diet, enjoys their food, and is healthy. So this is what's possible. It's an option for the MGTOW man. That's a great lifestyle, I think, guys. Buy yourself a laptop, travel around the world, upload your videos. If you meet the right types of women, you let them hang around you for a little while, being fully aware of what the situation is. And you disengage with them. And you always have a few, look, I mean, I'm not saying this is what you do. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it's an option. And I'm saying that as a man, that seems like a pretty good lifestyle to me. You have your plans, your goals, your ambitions, your projects, your designs, and you pursue them independent of the boss, of the company, of the corporation, of the woman, of the relationships. Freedom. And the system doesn't want you to have that. Everybody with more money than you that has like a job, that wants to hire people and things like that. Anybody who's a higher level manager that wants workers and things like that. No, they don't want you acting like that. They see you holding your head up and walking around like that. They'll look at you like that old fat Misandric Landwell was looking at little Johnny kicking his soccer ball. They'll be like, hey man, hey, what are you, gay? You're not allowed to do that. Who do you think you are? You think you're an important man? I'm always fascinated when a guy with money, is like trying to like brag on me when he doesn't have his health. It's like, what the hell? It's like, you're proud of your shoes? You're proud of your car? I mean, there's nothing wrong with being proud of your car. I don't mean that, or your shoes. It's fine, whatever. But not over your health, not over your well-being. That's the most important thing. Now, so how are you going to achieve that? How are you going to get there? As a man, you're going to take small steps. You're going to also be able to face the trauma, of your super ego saying, I'm in charge here. Everything's great, man. I'm the most awesome thing in the world. It's like, nah, the woman's sending out 100 chats a day. She's building up more of a network, and it won't catch up for you. It won't slow down for you. You hit the ground running, or you hit the ground, and there's nobody coming around like your dad or something like that to pick you up. I'm sorry. And it's not going to get easier the next time. It's going to get harder. So do it now. This is like pedaling a bicycle. You know what I mean? Every little, downhill bit of speed that you have just makes it that much easier. And every little bit of resistance that you have just makes it, that much harder. Now, maybe you're pedaling into the wind and a big gust has come your way. So it's like, whoa, okay, don't fight it. Yeah, that's understandable. That's a smart move. But you got to move forward. Got to take your momentum and move forward with it. Now, this brings up an interesting point, because let's consider that intelligent learning machine going around like a young, like a child, like a boy, or even like a baby robot. It's going around, it's learning, it's having experiences, it's going to parties, it's hanging out on YouTube chats, it's doing stuff like that. Give me a moment. I've kind of lost my track of thought. Yeah, coffee warmers. It's amazing. I got to get me one of those. Just having some coffee. Son of a bitch. It's cold. It's fucking cold. Bitch, get in here. Warm this coffee. Great. Some cute little Asian girl comes running in here. Hi, Howard Sama. Hi. Right away, Howard. There. Right away. Me so sorry. Yeah, probably, man. You know, why not? So it has occurred to me that men are much better at like doing the domestic chores that women do, right? Than women are at doing the security and the invention, risk taking and hardworking chores that men do. Man, as if work was like a place to collect your entitlements. You know what I mean? It's like, I want to fly the plane now. And it's like, yeah, but you don't know how to fly the plane, Janie. And it's like, but the engineers have built the technology so well that anybody can fly the plane now. I want to be a pilot. And it's like, okay, Janie, you've got the IQ of 65 and you've never done anything but learn how to eat and go to the bathroom in life and cry and lie, but you can fly the plane too, because we're all winners. So that's what we're looking at right now. That's the situation that we're facing. It's not a meritocracy. It's entitled princess privileged bitches going around threatening people. And hey, that's a really nice company you got there. It would be a shame to lose it to some sexual harassment accusations. Can I have a raise? So that's how they play it. So the idea that women are capable and have merit, that's absurd. It's disgusting, and the blue pill man that laughs at the boss's jokes, who does what he's told. Oh yeah, he's a real winner. Yeah, welcome to reality, pal, when your health goes down the fucking tubes, right? It's like, this is the guy I'm talking about, right? I'm sitting at the top of the mountain and I'm getting ready to go down and it's dark and he's looking at me like he's bragging about how much money he's got. And it's like, well, good luck with the tree, pal. I wonder how much, luck that tree is going to have, what consideration the tree and the mountain is going to have towards your money. And the answer is none. But those are the female values. See, that's what I'm talking about, right? I'm not giving men a hard time. I'm saying that he's adopted the female values and he's looking at me who has rejected these female values and he's trying to judge me based on those standards. And I'm ready to smack them. But I don't even have to smack him in the face. I can just look at him. That's all I need to do. And he'll look away. He'll start looking at his feet. All I have to do is say, what? It's like, oh, nothing. I'm sorry. I could get all worked up. I could get all angry. So it's hard for this intelligent learning machine to process the traumatic situations, the situations which challenge its control and authority and grasp and mastery over its environment. So there it is. Like, you're getting this constant feedback that says, you're not as good as you think you are. You're not as good as you think you are. You've got to work harder, and you've got this constant fight back within your own personality, or at least, generally this is what I'm talking about, that's saying, no, 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 I got it. I can handle it. I know what's going on here. I'm in charge here. I'm the one who's, doing right. So there's this conflict. There's the struggle inside, So this is the MGTOW 102, right? This is what you have to overcome. This is what you have to work with. This is what you have to master, like a snake within your own mind that'll turn against you if you don't get it right, and that has all this past experience in it that's just messing with your behavior and affecting your thoughts, so yeah, like if I ever meet up with a red-haired woman in a position of middle level authority, right? I just start to get sick, because I had a hard time with them when I was like, 5, 6 years old. Anyway, I'm going to go heat up my coffee. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Yeah, so here's what I'm thinking. Okay, 3 Asian girls, about, early 20s, right? And I let them live here at the Howard Dare Studios for free, rent free. Okay. Uh, no bills, nothing like that. But they have to work constantly. Okay. They have to maintain everything. And they have to be my personal servants. Not personal servants, but I'm talking sex and things like that. Um, and I've decided that 2 of the 3 shall be twins. 2 of them, right? Because that's how it works with twins. There's 2 of them. And, that way it won't be like, anybody's getting any sort of special treatment, or being singled out or anything like that. And I think that that's a pretty good deal. And I think if any one of them gives me any sort of a bad attitude, they can get out, and I can replace them. Yeah. Is that sexist? Is that wrong? Because I'd be letting them have free rent. They would have to, maintain the place though completely, They'd have to do all the meals, all the errands, everything looks like that, right? I'd pay the rent, I'd pay the bills, and I'd deal with external issues, security concerns, things like that. I'm just saying it's an option. I mean, I don't have to do it, If it was at all uncomfortable or awkward, I'd be like, well, fuck this. We're ending this. They could work other jobs. You know what I mean? They could not have men into the house, in the studio, though. They could not like bring dates or anything like that around. That would be bullshit if they demonstrated any sort of a hostile attitude towards me, if they were not kind and respectful, towards the idea of being a man. No, that wouldn't work either. See, I don't even think that the basics of how men and women interact are open as an option to a man. It's like, what the hell? Why would I sit around with somebody who's 40% weaker than I am and let them act like they're in charge because I love them and because what, I want to have sex with them? Okay, so then after I have sex with them, what? Am I still obligated to act that way? So it's like time to buy a new car. You know what I mean? It's like, it's all screwed up. The dynamic is all screwed up. You want to take the worst player on the team and make them the quarterback? Well, you're going to lose every game. And that's what we're doing. We are losing. America, the free West, it's losing because it's putting women in leadership positions and it's letting them dictate the terms. And the men, the young men, because they're raised in this system, and the blue pill men that want to have sex, want to please the women, they go along. So you, as a man, as a male, you're sitting there and you're getting pissed off. You're getting all angry and you're getting all discouraged too. And you've got all this neuroses built up in you because you've been mistreated. And I don't mean you individually. I mean the man, and there might be certain aspects that you can identify with this and extract from this and learn from and then apply it to your life in an overall general principle. So that's what we're doing, okay? We're taking particular instances and we're applying them universally to larger areas and principles, so that we can learn. Or at least that's what we're trying to do. So it's kind of like, it's not just, oh, here's the story and here's this instance. It's like, no, here's these variables, here's how they interacted, plug them into your life, see how they interact, see if you can get some mastery over this situation rather than just being one of the fucking variables in it. Because that's what we are, man. We are the intelligent learning machine. We are the intelligent machine. But we're being played like we're just like one of the little parts of it. Like we're just one of the little variables that's getting bounced around and thrown around. Know this, that you as a man, you are, the big computer here. But we've been relegated to a position of subservience with female supremacy because they're so hot and because men want to have sex. It's like nobody wants to have sex with some 50-year-old immigrant woman who's walking around, but she's still on welfare. She's still getting free handouts, but she has none of that sexual value that enabled her and enabled women to put themselves into this position. And guess what? Men can't face it. So embrace the new technology. Overcome the weaknesses within you. You don't have to do it all at once. Don't condemn, but just recognize that it's there, that's where the struggle is, okay? The struggle is not between you and someone else. The struggle is between you and you. And you just want to improve a little bit on a regular basis. That's my take on it. That's what I'm telling myself. I'm just looking at some other analytics. Man, the analytics are awesome. Find out so much stuff that, you don't even know. Oddly, the health is good on the stream. Here I am back with you guys in the chat. Men need to be men again, but they're not allowed to be men. If you act like a man, you're told to check your privilege. Do you see the way those guys were hanging out at the, the feminist marches and things like that? They don't look healthy. They don't look strong. They don't look confident. They don't look decisive. They look like they're guys that are following along with women that are all angry and upset. There's so much better, so much more available to the man. Just hanging out, guys, Hey, James Patterson, the writer, is here. Thanks for stopping by, man. Yeah, Donald Trump was listening to the podcast last night. Seriously, check it out. No, he's, I mean, it's funny though, because he does the tweets and things like that. And, and he's obviously not checking it with the press secretary or anything like that. I mean, I suppose he is now. Yeah, I suppose. But it's still funny, the idea of the president just, hanging out and tweeting and stuff. Did you see the footage of Obama, kite surfing, right? Looked like he was having a good time. Looks like he might have lost a little bit of that gray hair. Not that I have any sympathy for him, especially the way he's behaving. But he doesn't look unhappy about not being the president. That's for sure. Yeah, so there's no reason why you guys can't, have that kind of an internet lifestyle where you're just traveling around with your laptop, uploading, managing, stuff like that. And, back at the studios, you've got your, 3 Asian girls, taking care of things, right? so that when you come back, it's like, oh, we're so happy to see you. Oh, yeah. And everything's neat and in place. And all you got to do is just do the man side of it, which is making money and, overcoming obstacles. Shit, that's pretty much the way I imagined life. You know what I mean? Like I would be able to work in just like this one area. But no, it didn't work out that way at all. Not at all. The bitches didn't do anything. They couldn't do jack shit. Right? So it's hysterical. Like, when I get this talk from the guys in the comments, oh, like women are, it's like, oh, you idiot. No, they're not. They can't cook. They can't clean. They don't take care of things. They cry. They manipulate. They become emotional. They're not as effective as a man at things. Usually, in general. So you take your most capable woman, though, and you take your least capable man, and she'll beat the shit out of him, won't she? So don't think that it's just, I'm a man. No. You take a man with low testosterone, without any skills, without any confidence, and you take a woman, that's just on top of her game, that's healthy, that's strong. Man, she'll move right through that guy. She won't have anything to do with that guy. So you guys need to fucking compete out there. You guys need to be competitive, and you need to be tough on yourselves. You need to be strong on yourselves. And the same kind of treatment that a woman gets, if you get that treatment, you'll become soft like a woman. It's got to be a lot harder on you as a man. Now, don't make yourself sick, but by all means, go out there and dominate. Don't let these, misandric pre-diabetic land whales tell you to check your privilege just because you have, this huge advantage over them. So it's like the man has to carry himself always, with his head down, his shoulders low, looking at the ground. If he carries himself like a man actually is, the women around him and the blue pill men around him, they become, they'll attack him. We need to get you guys into a position where, hey, consider this. Why do guys in prison become so buff, right? It's not because of their diet. They don't get great food. It's not because of their exercise, right? Because they're not getting great exercise. They're locked up. And yet they become all muscular. Why? And, I'm kind of just putting it out there. I've got my theory that I'm going to share that with you in a little while. But I'm going to have some coffee first. Yeah. So, I don't know, like, guy's sitting around, he's all soft, he's all fat, he loves going to McDonald's, he likes watching TV, likes playing video games, he works out a little bit, he does this, he does that, but he's not making any progress. Okay. So there you are. I mean, I'm sure that a lot of guys have been there. I've been there. Okay. It's like, okay, now you're in prison, pal. Now you're in prison with other men. And if you do something stupid, they're gonna mess you up. You're gonna pay for it. How do you feel? I'll bet you feel a little nervous, right? I'll bet you're fucking looking over your shoulder all the time, huh? I'll bet you your heart's racing. I'll bet you every night that you go to bed, you're like, I wonder if I got to deal with this guy. I wonder if I got to deal with that guy. Then I'll bet you're like, fuck, man, I can't worry about it. If I, I'm going to keep a close eye on this one. I'm going to keep a moderate eye on that one. If any one of them gives me a hard fucking time, I'm going to go apeshit crazy on this one. And this other one I'm going to try to reason with. And then you're going to say, and I better fucking go to sleep now so that I can do it, and I better watch where I sit tomorrow morning. So your mind is going to be constantly racing. You're no longer going to be able to be that guy who likes McDonald's, who likes watching TV, who likes playing video games, who doesn't, want to work out too hard. You're not going to be that guy anymore, but it's in your mind, right? That's where the difference is, in your attitude, in your mind. So now you're carrying yourself and your mind is racing. You're checking out everything. Yeah, your metabolism changes because you're around other men and you need to be, competitive. So that's my theory on that. That's why guys, when they're in prison, they become trim, they become lean because they know they have to compete with men and they have to watch themselves. and the metabolism knows it. Yeah, so when I reload the page over here for the chat, I get a commercial. Awesome. Halo Wars 2. Halo was not one of my favorite video games, although this commercial here looks awesome. Yeah, I'm just checking it out. Reload the chat page, man. You know, oh my God, that looks like Winona Ryder. And I'll tell you something else. The cinematics within these games, these are all motion captured. You know what I mean? Somebody's actually acting this shit out. And even the monsters and shit like that are obviously motion captured. And some of the moves are clearly animated. But no, these are going to be people acting this stuff out, and then the programmers, putting the graphics around it. Softimage has a great speaking bit of software. What's it called? Face Rig? Yeah, but this is some really nice stuff. I'm looking at the commercial for, Halo. The textures on the human beings, just, there's very little, unless you're doing a close up with bright lights, you can't tell the difference. I mean, you can tell the difference, but it's pretty realistic. Yeah. I'm enthralled, man. I'm hypnotized watching the commercial for the video game. It's a long one, too. You notice that the Super Bowl commercials showed up all over YouTube, that little symbol up in the upper left-hand corner had the, ad blitz, little guy dancing around up there. So, so whatever you're doing on your screen, you got this little thing dancing around in the upper left-hand corner. So it's like, fine, I'll click on it. And it was all the Super Bowl commercials. So that's how they're, they have to come off of television and come on to the place where the people are. This is, why I say to you guys, manipulate the media, use the media. Because everybody else around you, and certainly the women will, certainly the companies and the media will. And if you don't, it's not like it's going to get easier. It's not like any of it's going to slow down for you. But I totally understand the idea that the men have been pushed back and beaten down. So, use MGTOW. Use the ideas of MGTOW to build yourself back up. Find strength again. Find the things that you like to do. So I hope you guys have something to smoke. I hope you guys have something to drink, It's not my fault if you don't. It's not my fault. I'm giving you my best advice. I really am. I'm giving you the advice that I do, right? This is pretty much what I do. So I don't know what the hell I can tell you better than that. I don't know. Some people like working, at a job and doing what they're told and never taking responsibility. It's like, oh, the doctor told me to take this. It's like, yeah, well, how's that working out for you, pal? If everything continues, so I'm just suggesting, that you take a little, more, an active role in the situation. That's all. That will, impart some confidence, that you take on some new challenges, and that you remind yourself that, you're really quite capable, and that there's nothing on this planet like a man. Nothing. Men and women are bullshit. And then you get a man who becomes fully, intelligent and in charge of himself. Think of the largest, most complex, elaborate structures in the world. Nuclear power plants, jumbo jets. Men built those. Yeah. Hydrogen bomb, men built those. Spaceships, men built those. Men and women are the same. No, women didn't build any of those things. None of them. Look around you. See everything around you? Men built it. Men built those things. Women didn't build any of it. Even the bra, okay? Women didn't build it. Men and women are the same. They should get paid the same. How dare Howard Dare talk like that about women? Look around you. Everything is built by men. So that's what you come from. That's where you come from. That's what you can do. She can't do it. She can't build one of those bridges. She can't build one of those skyscrapers. She can't build the roads. She can't build the computer. She can't do any of it. She can't build the house. She can't design the furniture. She can't build the keyboard. She can't build the monitor. She can't do any of it. She can sit on an assembly line. She can be told what to do and she can do it. She can be given the components and she can put them together, but she cannot conceive of them and build them. She hasn't yet. She hasn't discovered any cures for any diseases. She hasn't made any inventions yet. They don't even write their own songs largely. Well, they write plenty of songs. But, you know, oh, men and women are the same. It's like, right, you know, so what's the difference between a man who works every day, hard, challenging himself, struggling, overcoming, helping people, doing good things, versus just a guy who, you know, wants to get high? That's it. Make excuses and get other people to take care of him. Yeah, what's the difference? No difference. We're all the same. We're all the same. Bullshit. Bullshit. One of them is a pig. One of them is a lazy, retarded pig. And the other one is a man. And you get to choose which one you want to be. You know, I don't even get into fights and arguments in my comment section anymore. I barely even remove the horrible comments. I just leave them up there. Like, what's the point? You know, why would I argue with him? Yeah, all caps makes you seem more intelligent. Oh, oh, hey man, there's Lewis. Let's give him some moderation powers so that if somebody is going crazy, he can help protect the chat. He's like a defender of chat. Thanks for stopping by, Lewis. I don't know what Trans Gamer's problem is. I don't really care. But you know, we don't want to mess up the chat or anything like that for other people's. I love chat. I should probably be finishing this up anyway, man. You guys got any good questions in the chat? I'm sure you do, but I mean good for me. Right? I mean questions that will serve my interests. So you're going to have to take back your masculinity, and nobody around you is going to give it to you, and they're going to shame the shit out of you for everything that you do along these lines, and they're going to praise the shit out of every bit of service you do towards the women. And when you don't act like a complete retard, towards the women, you know, they're going to accuse you of being gay. Yeah, you better learn how to kick that ball. You better learn how to, you know, take care of your own health. Stop looking to authoritative systems, to a top-down system, you know, that's going to take care of you and look out for you. You as a man You're going to have to build that system now for yourself. The existing system, it's not for you. It's not for the man. It's for the women. It's for the children. It's for the blue pill man. And you will lose your health if you go down that road. You might get lucky. You know what I mean? Like, you might be able to get married. You might be able to get a good job. You might be able to buy a house and have children and move forward and, deal with the difficulties, that come along. You might be able to do that. But no, there's just so much of a larger chance that the whole system is going to turn on you and just rip you to pieces, no matter how good you are. So go your own way, find your own way, build your own way. And you've got to overcome yourself. That's who you're working with here. And there's opportunities. Like I said, you could have an internet lifestyle, couldn't you? Other people can do it. Wouldn't be easy. You'd have to, go one step at a time. That's another thing, right? This whole difficulty with the superego, right? It's like he doesn't even want to admit that he doesn't know how to throw a punch. You ever see a young boy who goes to throw a ball? I'm sure that this is happening to you guys in some instances, right? It's like, yeah, I've seen a man, pitch that baseball 100 times, man. I could whip one of those things. Like, the little boy grabs the ball and he winds up, he goes to throw that ball and his muscles they're not trained to do it. You know what I mean? He just doesn't have the strength there in those muscles yet. He thinks he does because he's seen it 100 times, and that ball just kind of like puddles out of his hand. Yeah. It's amazing, huh? And then you see those girls and all those people dancing around them in all their colorful uniforms, praising them, singing their praises, and yelling at little Johnny for even daring to kick the ball and to do it without any inhibition, just as a man can do it, just as a male can do it. And you think, we're fucked, man. We are fucked, because they're going to drug that kid. And they did. And they, in any sort of male leadership he presented, they drugged it right out of him. They shamed it. They insulted it right out of him. And as an intelligent learning machine that he is, man, it leaves its scars on him so deep that he doesn't even know what they are. Okay. But then you go to another game. Then you go to a game of men. And they're lined up there out on that baseball field. And then they're in their uniforms. And there's not a whole bunch of people watching or anything like that. Not yet. And they pitch that fucking ball and it comes whipping by at about 90 miles an hour. It could kill you. And the man standing behind the plate, bam! He slams into that thing with a bat and just slams that thing into the air. And it's just screaming. It's like going out of the fucking park. And one guy is just like running back on it. Got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. It's right there at the fucking wall. Everybody else on the field is just locked on it, Boom. He jumps up there. He just pulls it out of the air. He catches it at the last minute. The guy at the second base is checking up. He takes off, man. The guy throws. Boom. Cuts him off for third base, And it's like, okay, that's the way men can play this game. The spring training, That'll be coming up real soon here, men. Spring training. So I hope you're ready. You can start getting ready now. Yeah, I think a lot of you guys have a few more seasons in you. I think there might be some use for you yet. Yeah, I think, things might actually turn out better than you think. So what do you guys think about my plan about hiring, the 3 Asian girls? And I tell you, my twins, I like them in a pair. That's it. That's the only way I want twins, is if there's 2 of them. Right? No rent. They don't have to pay rent. They don't have to pay for food. They can work, a second job, but they have to take care of all domestic duties here in the house. And you know, they got to have sex with me, which that's like a fucking bonus as far as I'm concerned for them. Truly it is. That's the way a man needs to look at it. You know what I mean? It's like I'm looking around and you guys are talking about, oh, we got to get laid. Like she's doing you a favor. I understand. I mean, I do, but wouldn't you rather be in a position where she was like, oh wow, you're one of the most awesome men I've ever encountered in my life. I would be happy, to just let you just, fuck me. Right? And she's just like, just hear whatever you want, as opposed to you chasing after her. So that's what I'm talking about. And as I said, I don't see anything wrong with me using 3 Asian girls to take care of the studios, to take care of, individual studio. I think it's a good idea. Now, a lot of guys will say, hey, that's not MGTOW, And it's like, no, you don't understand. They would only do the domestic stuff. You know what I mean? They would just take care of little stuff. I would still hire men for real work. Now, I wouldn't be hiring people. Consider this, men. I wouldn't be hiring anybody, and neither will you be hiring anybody like as a permanent employee. That's going to be very rare. You're going to be hiring people who have the skill sets that you need, and you're going to be hiring them for a specific job. And they're going to probably be working for multiple people, like whores. No. But you see what I mean? Yeah, like a gig economy, as Sandman has mentioned. Testing my coffee. Oh, motherfucker. Son of a bitch. Cold coffee. It's like a feminist. It's like a woman that doesn't respect a man. That's the way they are. And the more feminist that they become, the less they take care of their health. It's bad for a woman. It really is. It's poison. It's toxic. It's man hating. And MGTOW is not woman hating. Not at all. Now, some of the guys, just coming into it, yeah, they're full of anger, full of hate, of course. But no, it's not woman hating. As I say, MGTOW 102. This is like you're now dealing with your own nature. That's where the conflict is. She is what she is. The world is what it is. You're just going to have to adapt it and adapt to it to suit your needs. Don't get discouraged. Don't hide the truth from yourself, that you're pretty much alone out there. Face those difficult things and then move through them. And then you will make progress. But it's not easy. You can only go a little bit at a time. Most of the time. Sometimes you can just fucking go leaps and bounds, man. Absolutely. You got to take advantage of those opportunities. But I'm going to leave it at that for now, right? Because I don't want to make these things too long. But I appreciate you guys stopping by. And I hope you understand that, they're not like really super focused, hard podcasts, live streams. They're just kind of an opportunity for me to talk about things and, for you guys to just hang out for a little while. And I have no problem with the idea of doing that on a regular basis for no better reason than that. Right. So it's a little depressing though at times. So, just keep that in mind. So let me know what you think about what I've had to say in the comments section. And please like, share, comment, subscribe. I need I need people to subscribe, right? So go ahead and do that. And go ahead and share. This might not be the best one to share though. Share those regular 10-minute videos. I'd appreciate it. And join me again, Howard Dare, as I plan to have more content for you guys. Thank you, MGTOW.